For decades, one film has left us all with a brilliant, disturbing, and honestly, an almost impossible question. And that film is, of course, American Psycho. So today, we're going to try and finally get some answers.
So here it is, the big one, the question that has fueled countless arguments. Did Patrick Bateman actually commit all those horrible murders, or was it all just playing out inside his head? To get to the bottom of this, we really have to build a case, and we're going to start with the man himself. Before we can even begin to answer that, we have to grapple with our narrator, Patrick Bateman. And right from the very first scene, the film is basically screaming at us that we absolutely cannot trust this guy. I mean, think about that opening. As he's peeling off that face mask, he's telling us flat out that the person we're about to follow is an illusion. He's just a collection of expensive suits and fancy routines. We are seeing this entire story through the eyes of a man who admits he doesn't even exist. Okay, so let's dive into the most common theory, right? That the murders were all just a product of his completely fractured mind. The evidence for this is really powerful, and let's be honest, it gets pretty weird.
The movie is just packed with moments that make you go, wait, what? An ATM that tells him to feed me a stray cat? Really? Or him blowing up a police car by shooting it with a pistol? Not to mention, nobody seems to hear a chainsaw ripping through an apartment building, bodies just vanish without a trace, and every time he tries to confess, people just laugh it off like a joke. The world itself seems to bend around his madness, which makes a really strong case that none of it was real.
But that's not the only way to look at it. There's another equally compelling case to be made that the murders were very, very real. And the true horror is that he was surrounded by a society so self-obsessed that nobody even noticed. So here's the crucial thing to remember. It's not just Bateman who's an unreliable narrator. It's everyone. The whole world is unreliable. So yeah, maybe the killings did happen, but Bateman, being the narcissist he is, just imagines them in a more cinematic, over-the-top way. But at the same time, his colleagues are so superficial, they can't even tell each other apart. Paul Allen calls him the wrong name. His own lawyer calls him Davis. I mean, in a world where nobody knows who anyone is, it's totally plausible that a guy could just disappear and no one would connect the right dots. And then you've got this scene. So chilling. Bateman goes back to Paul Allen's apartment, a place he believes he filled with bodies, and it's spotless, freshly painted, and up for sale. The real estate agent, she doesn't react like he's crazy. She's tense, scared. Her reaction feels less like dealing with a madman and more like a cover-up. She cares more about the property value than a potential crime scene, which kind of suggests the horrors were real. They just got erased by money. Okay, so we've looked at both sides of the coin. It happened, it didn't happen. But what if I told you that asking, did it happen or not, is completely the wrong question? The film isn't a mystery about who did it. It's a statement about what it is. And it is a deeply, deeply sick society. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. The director, Mary Harron, has actually said she never wanted it to be a simple, it was all a dream ending. The ambiguity is the whole point. See, the film isn't a puzzle box you're supposed to solve. It's a brutal satire of a very specific time and place. And that time and place is 1980s yuppie culture. You know, this whole world of young urban professionals that was just defined by a frantic obsession with having the right suit, the right business card, the right dinner reservation. It was all about the surface. And the film uses Bateman's psychopathy like a magnifying glass to show us just how hollow it all was. Let's just break down how Bateman's world actually works. Identity? That's not your character. It's the tasteful thickness of your business card. Socializing? Forget real connection. It's about the status that comes with a reservation at Dorsia. And your job? Who cares what you actually do, as long as you've got the title of vice president? In this world, the packaging is literally everything. And this moment just perfectly captures the movie's satirical genius. Louise Carruthers sees Patrick Bateman dragging a body bag down the street, and his only question is about the designer brand. Murder, violence, suffering, it all just becomes invisible when you're looking at it through the lens of consumerism. Society is so numb that a dead body is just another fashion accessory. So if the question isn't whether Bateman is a killer, then what's the film's final judgment? Who or maybe what is the real American psycho here? This line, right at the end, is Bateman's final, most horrifying realization. After he leaves that long, frantic, detailed confession on his lawyer's answering machine, he finds out it was just laughed off as a joke. You see, his ultimate punishment isn't going to prison. It's being irrelevant. his evil deeds, his one desperate attempt to actually be seen, they mean nothing. In a world this hollow, even his worst atrocities don't make a ripple.
And that right there is the core idea of the entire film. The title isn't just about one man. It's an indictment of an entire culture that values stuff over empathy and surfaces over souls. In this world, Patrick Bateman isn't some crazy outlier. He's the logical conclusion.
So in the end, whether the blood was real or just imagined, the sickness was undeniable. And the film leaves us with this haunting final thought, one that feels more relevant now than ever. In a world that is obsessed with the perfect image and the polished surface, how do any of us prove we're even really there?